You just feel it's not going to get any easier over the coming months. How does this investigation, where does it lead up to? Trials and everything that could result from this. It's going to be a very sticky period for the royal family. But sometimes you might actually be saying, well, perhaps have they created this issue themselves?
The King has issued a statement on the arrest of Andrew. I'll read it again in full. He says, "I've learned with the deepest concern the news of Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor and suspicion of misconduct in public office. What follows is the full, fair and proper process by which this issue is investigated in the appropriate manner and by the appropriate authorities. In this, as I've said before, they have our full and wholehearted support and cooperation. Let me state clearly, the law must take its course. As this process continues, it would not be right for me to comment on this matter further. Meanwhile, my family and I will continue in our duty and service to you all. Charles R." Well, the royal correspondent Rupert Bell is with me now. Rupert, hello.
Good morning. Or good afternoon it is now. I've lost track of time since the news broke earlier today.
You're 45 minutes into the afternoon. It's just a bit of breaking news there. That is indeed the time. What did you make of the King's statement, Rupert?
Well, I'm not sure what else he could say. The royal family have been backed into a corner with this, but actually he has said, I'm going to give the police the support. They must the due process. So should he come out and make a statement? I'm not sure that what he can add to that. He just say, right, let the natural course of law, let the police do their job, and wherever that takes them, then he should be giving them the support. And I think that's the implication. But it's still very uncomfortable for the King, just as Graham was mentioning, all the sort of fallout from this. And it seemed to basically, in many ways, sort of start with this latest tranche of Epstein files and the allegations of financial misconduct. And that seemed to spur the police into investigating what has gone on. And sometimes people might be thinking that the royal family have been slow to react in dealing with Andrew, because this problem has been heading downwards for the royal family since almost that Newsnight interview in 2019. And then you've got obviously the allegation about that money that was paid for Virginia Giuffre. So it's been a long sort of spiral downwards, and now the royal family are dealing with the fallout as Andrew becomes the first member of the royal family to be arrested like this. I think King Charles I was arrested way back when.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, there are reports that neither the King nor Buckingham Palace were informed in advance about this arrest. Would they have wanted to be, do you think?
Well, I think if it's the due process of law, why should they have been? I think, other people are arrested and no one gets tipped off. They turn up and say, and turn up. Now and I think they are saying, why should they be? Andrew now is a normal citizen, and they are carrying on as they would with anybody else. So I don't feel the need for the King to be told. He's obviously got to react. He's got public duties and the spotlight's on him. He's now in his mid-70s. He's battling cancer, which may be, he's got a lot of issues on his plate. And at the same time, it must be deeply frustrating how this Andrew scandal in many ways has got to this situation. And probably, there's much soul searching perhaps within the royal family that they didn't deal with Andrew earlier to avoid where we've ended up.
Well, I mean, there are, some senior royals who are scheduled to take part in various engagements later today. It makes it very hard for them to do their jobs, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think Princess Anne is due to turn up at a prison, ironically, today. So, it's not an easy look for them. And the royal family have got to, they're trying to keep public opinion on their side. But every further revelation and allegations against Andrew make it even more difficult for them to go about their duty, as the King alluded to in that statement, that he's here to serve us all. Yet at the same time, the spotlight is being thrown on his family in an extremely negative way. And you just feel it's not going to get any easier over the coming months. How does this investigation, where does it lead up to? Trials and everything that could result from this. It's going to be a very sticky period for the royal family. But sometimes you might actually be saying, well, perhaps have they created this issue themselves?
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. That is royal correspondent Rupert Bell speaking there. We're also hearing reports that the Prince and Princess of Wales have said they support the King's statement following the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor.